Welcome to the Explainer. So think about this for a second. How does a massive, world-changing idea actually get translated into the small, everyday actions a company takes? Well, today we're going to break down that exact journey, how any organization finds its direction and turns those big dreams into reality. Right, so let's jump right in. A business without a clear goal isn't necessarily failing. Not really. It's just busy. It's spinning its wheels, burning energy, but not actually going anywhere. So the big question is, how do you turn all that random activity into focused, deliberate progress? Well, it all starts way up high, at the 30,000-foot view. It begins with two really powerful concepts that act as a company's guiding light, its ultimate North Star. And we're talking about its vision and its mission. So first up, you've got the vision statement. And really, you should think of this as the big, audacious, shoot-for-the-moon kind of dream. It's the ultimate destination way out on the horizon. It answers the question, what do we want to become someday? It's not about what the company does today. It's all about the future it's trying to create. Now, the mission statement, that's a whole different animal. It brings things right back down to earth, to the here and now. It defines the company's core purpose, why it even exists, and what it actually does to move toward that big vision. So if the vision is the destination, you can think of the mission as the vehicle you're driving to get there. Okay, if you're trying to wrap your head around the difference, here's the easiest way to lock it in your brain. The vision is for someday, that distant, aspirational future. The mission, that's for every day. It's the reason people show up to work in the morning. It's the core of what the business actually does, day in and day out. Simple as that. Okay, but let's be honest here for a minute. We've all seen these, right? Framed on a corporate wall somewhere. And how often are they actually useful? See, they get criticized a lot, and for good reason. Sometimes they're so vague they're totally meaningless, just a fancy sentence for a PR blast. They're nearly impossible to measure, and they can be so long-term that employees just ignore them. And this quote, man, it just nails the problem perfectly. A vision without action? That's nothing more than a daydream. But the flip side, all that action without any guiding vision? Whoa, that's a total nightmare. Just chaos and wasted effort. So what's the bridge? How do you connect that big dream to the day-to-day grind? Well, this is where a really powerful framework called SMART objectives comes into play. You got to think of this as the actual roadmap that turns that grand ambition into a real journey. So, what are business objectives? They're basically the individual steps on that roadmap. They take that big, grand mission and just chop it up into bite-sized, manageable chunks. This gives everyone in the organization a super clear target to aim for, and just as importantly, a shared sense of purpose. But here's the kicker. For an objective to actually work, it's gotta be SMART. And this acronym, it's like a secret weapon, a checklist for any goal you set. So you ask yourself, is the goal specific? Can you put a number on it? Is it measurable? Can you actually pull it off, or is it just a fantasy? Is it achievable? Is it realistic and relevant to what we're doing? And finally, does it have a deadline? Is it time specific? So check this out. A kind of useless goal is, let's increase sales. Okay, how? By when? But a SMART goal, that's something like, achieve sales of 150 million euros in European markets by 2025. Bam! See that? Total game changer. Suddenly, everyone knows exactly what the target is. All right, so we've got the how. That's the SMART framework. But what about the what? What are most companies actually aiming for with these objectives in the real world? Well, traditionally, especially for for-profit companies, it really boils down to three big things: growth, making the business bigger; profit, making sure you earn more than you spend; and shareholder value, which is all about keeping the company's owners happy. So let's take growth. Why is everyone so obsessed with getting bigger? Well, in a lot of ways, it's about survival. When you grow, you can often make more money, save on costs through economies of scale, and frankly, bigger companies tend to be more stable. That can mean better job security for everybody involved. And you can't just feel growth, right? You got to measure it. So you look at the hard numbers. Is total sales revenue going up? Are you capturing a bigger piece of the market pie? Are more and more customers walking through the door, real or virtual? All right, next up, profit. And let's be clear, for most businesses, profit is like oxygen. It's what keeps the whole thing alive. It's the reward for taking that huge risk in the first place, and it's the cash you need to reinvest and keep growing into the future. And that laser focus on profit brings us to this really classic and kind of controversial idea, shareholder value. The thinking goes like this. A company's one and only job is to make money for its owners, period. The famous economist Milton Friedman was the big champion of this, arguing that the only social responsibility of a business is to use its resources to increase its profits. But things are changing. That old school profit at all costs mindset, it's really being challenged these days. People are starting to say, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't there be more to it than just the bottom line? It's like business is taking a major detour. And that's where ethical objectives come in. These are goals that aren't just about the money. They're based on doing the right thing. We're talking about things like treating your employees well, not polluting the planet, and being straight up honest with your customers. Now, here's where it gets really tricky, because doing the right thing isn't always easy or cheap. There's this constant tension, this trade-off. Sure, being ethical can give you a great reputation and super loyal customers, but it can also cost a lot of money. And that might mean higher prices for you and me, or yeah, even lower profits for the owners. And that's the big dilemma, right? All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here, haven't we? We went from that pie-in-the-sky vision statement all the way down to the nitty-gritty of balancing profits and principles on the ground. Let's pull it all together for the big takeaway. Okay, if there's just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this simple little breakdown. The vision is your why. The mission is your how. And the SMART objectives, they're your what. Why you exist, how you'll do it, and what exactly you're going to do to make it all happen. And that really means that every single business, every organization has to make a choice. What path are they on? Is it that straight, direct line to maximizing profit above all else? Or is it a more complicated path, one that tries to navigate the complex ethical demands of the world we live in today? Which leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In this world of competing demands, does a business have to pick a side? Does it have to be profit or ethics? Or is it possible for a company to have two North Stars?